Yo, we gon' do this love American style. Hip hop. This is what we live over here. It's what we started over here. This how we gon' do this right here. Come on, drop that shit. Hip hop America. We love you. Black America. We love you. White America. We love you. Hip hop America. We love you. Politicians lie. Whole families die. You gotta fight for your slice of this American pie. I was touched by an American. The plan was this. Cut off they bloodlines so them niggas ain't got shit. But we got broccoli and sake. Mahi mahi. American gangster bitches and preachers out of cocky. We got Max and hoes. Pimps with afros. White American bitches that don't wear clothes. On the cover of Hustler. Just waiting to touch ya. Some hairy pussy bitches we imported from Russia. We got thugs that love to throw slugs. Crips and Bloods. Plus them fat ass buds. We got congressional seats. Boxes and briefs. Nasty trick bitches that don't wash they sheets. We got the Statue of Liberty. Blind lady justice. No wonder outside of the borders they can't trust us. We got people and folk. Cooked up coke. Porno stars that love the deep throat. The Sopranos, Mr. Nice Guys. Sicilian mobsters that'll take your lives. Hip Hop America. We love you. Black America. We love you. White America. We love you. Hip Hop America. We love you. Native America. We love you. Black America. We love you. White America. We love you. Latin America. We love you. I can see what they got, yo, but I ain't got shit. No pot to throw piss, no dreams of being rich. It's that American shit that throws my life off track. But it's a love of hip hop that keeps bringing me back. I stand right and exact in the land of the free, and I'm guilty as charged. Now who wanna see me? 18 can't drink, but they sent me to war. Now I fight till I can't fight no more. But I avoided that shit. I put my heart in the street with 2 turntables and a fat ass beat. Now my life's complete. You hear my story on wax. I live and die by the scratch. I push the shit to the max. I'm a hip hop American, born to ball, and I'm writing my name in graffiti on the wall. I got the right to vote, and I elect. I know you suckers can't stand me, but give me respect. Hip Hop America. We love you. Black America. We love you. White America. We love you. Hip Hop America. We love you. Native America. We love you. Black America. We love you. White America. We love you. Latin America.
We're taking over everywhere you go, the beats to splash. You can't escape the music, just join the mass. I love it all, hard or smooth, just rep your throne. Only the strong survive, respect the power of the chrome. If you ain't heard, you must live under a rock. Hip hop's the funk that knocks for blocks and keeps the hits locked. Check the whips, check the chips, check the hourglass girls, check the Timbs and the rims. Oh, fuck it, check the world, lay down the law like the government. But will impeach the president if money spitting flames, showing any type of negligence. You out of here, one slip, you're done. For the most part, we misunderstood. It's all in fun, just bringing thoughts to the table that rattle the earth. Deep rooted reality that's starting to surface. Only get thrown in the ring, we got heavy ammo. The new world army minus the uniforms and flannels. Casinos on every block, and this ain't Las Vegas.
In the late 50s and 60s, street gangs rose up in New York City. By 1970, violence and drug dealing had turned the Bronx and Brooklyn into an urban war zone. Many of New York City's young population looked for a way to rise above the chaos. Instead of fighting and killing one another, these revolutionaries took the negative energy prevalent in their daily life and channeled it into something positive. Their graffiti, DJing, MCing, and breakdancing became the 4 cornerstones of the new hip-hop culture. Before the hype and the record contracts, hip-hop existed in a way for inner-city kids to have fun.
What is hip-hop? Hip-hop is just music. It's people expressing themselves over music, not necessarily singing. But rap is the music of hip-hop. Hip-hop is a culture. And the culture is a way of life. And what is our way of life? We like DJing, we like MCing, we like breakdancing, we like graffiti, and even when I take those terms and up to date them, we like DJing, rapping, making videos, we love touring, we love all the new dances, we love fashion, we love flavor. Hip hop is artistic, cultural, musical, visual expression of people.
I just soaked it up with everybody else. I mean, whatever was the hot thing to do, that's what we did. And it was, B-boying came along, I was a B-boy like everybody else.
Yeah. We hip hop. We the embodiment of hip hop. We the last bastion of what real hip hop is. We have nothing but rappers. We never did nothing else. I'm 41 years old. Only thing I got on my record is driving without a license in the state of New York because I was able to buy Benz before I was able to go get a license. And that's all. I never did nothing else. I never wanted to sell no dope, nothing. All I wanted to do was just rap on the mic. That's what we all about. That's what hip hop is. We are hip hop, and you're not. All right, dope dealer?
In the beginning, hip-hop was a way to express yourself through music and art. It was more than just rap music. DJing, graffiti, and breakdancing were just as much a part of hip-hop culture. To the founding fathers, hip-hop was an entire way of life. From the time they woke in the morning to the time they went to sleep at night, they lived and breathed the lifestyle. The clothes they wore, the way they talked, the way they walked, it all expressed hip-hop culture. What began as an underground street culture has become a worldwide movement. Today, people of all colors and all classes embraced hip-hop as a way of life.
Hip-hop to me, the definition purely is culture. It's not just music. Unfortunately, today, it's just considered rap music. When I got into hip-hop, it was graffiti, MCing, DJing, b-boying, b-girling, everything under one umbrella. It was a whole movement, a whole statement of who you are and what you were doing in your life, and it wasn't just music. Music was a part of the hip-hop culture, which is now, because it became the biggest money maker out of the entire four elements of hip-hop, people consider rap music hip-hop. But hip-hop to me is a whole culture, and I've been very happy to be part of that.
It's not just the rap industry or the rap element. Hip-hop is a culture, and it was born from different elements, and it's comprised of different elements.
Hip-hop is a culture. It's a way of life. Hip-hop is the way we eat, the way we sleep, the way we breathe, the way we live, the way we do our everyday chores. That's hip-hop.
Hip-hop makes me wake up every day. It's not one thing. It's not one thing that hip-hop does for me. It's my life. It's my life breath.
It's a way of life,
Hip-hop is a culture. Hip-hop is graffiti. Hip-hop is breakdancing. Hip-hop is music and beats.
When people say they live hip-hop, I live hip-hop.
I never wanted to be like nobody. I wanted to be me. It was the fun. And when I seen the DJing and everybody out there partying and having fun, that's what made me say I want to DJ. It's not the money they do, it's the music that they make. That they make the music and you can get out there and dance and get rid of all your problems and just enjoy life and have fun. So it was the fun.
It is something that we birthed, that we raised. I remember 25 years ago when we was doing this, everybody was like, it's a fad. Why are you guys doing that?
It started from the love, from the streets. The true essence of it. We all had love. We used to break dance. Graffiti translated from out of hip-hop music.
Hip-hop is not just black, and it's not just ghetto, and it's not just New York. Hip-hop is worldwide, universal. They're even hip-hopping on Mars.
Here we are 25 years later, 30 years for the Zulu Nation, 29 years for the culture of hip-hop. I mean, obviously it's not a fad.
We didn't wear gold chains. We didn't wear, platinum.
The Farmer Johns, the 69ers, the Mark Necks, the British Walkers, that's hip-hop.
From the parks, from the school gyms, from community centers, and so forth. And that's what inspired us.
In the mid to late 70s, poverty and drugs plagued the southern end of the Bronx. The average family income in the Bronx was a mere $5,000, half the state's average. Heroin took the lives and souls of countless residents. Home to thousands of homeless drug addicts, mountains of trash and rubble, and countless crumbling buildings, the Bronx became a national symbol of poverty. Despite these conditions, the spirit of the people was not crushed. From out of the rubble, the pioneers emerged with a will to survive, and they did so through hip-hop. Their desire to celebrate life overcame the housing projects, the drugs, and the violence.
Hip-hop basically started in South Bronx here in New York, is where it originated. DJ Kool Herc. Actually, if you really want to take it back, you could say hip hop started in Jamaica because DJ Kool Herc, he was a Jamaican. And he actually did here in the United States what the Jamaicans used to do. They used to set up turntables, they used to play records, and then the Jamaican so-called MCs, I don't know if they were MCs back then, they basically toasters or lyricists. They would get on and they would just freestyle. And Kool Herc took that energy, brought it here to New York in late 70s, early 70s actually.
You could always walk to whoever it was because it was just, except for where Bamden was, they was a little bit further over, like in the Soundview area. But you know, Bronx River. But it was you know, and even that. I mean, if you want to walk there, you could actually. Yes, true. So it was just a small pocket of the Bronx where, you know, where everything got started.
Founders of hip hop, to who I see, especially on the DJ level of it, with Grandmaster Theodore, Grandmaster Flash, of course, the almighty godfather, founder of DJing, Kool Herc, you know, Tony Tone.
Once I saw DJing being done on a level that that was professionalism. A DJ, when you saw a DJ like a real DJ, what we called a real DJ, he had real equipment, turntables, two of the same turntables, and a mixer and big speakers and a sound system. That's when I really decided to get serious about it and pursue that.
I used to go to all the jams, all Cold Crush Brothers jams, Treacherous 3, the Furious 5, follow them all over the place.
And then when the mic came into play as a permanent fixture, you know, along with the DJ, and announcements started being embellished and became more than just, you know, well, we're playing here next week, come see us, you know, into more elaborate phrases and verses. And, you know, I was at the forefront of that too. So pretty much covered the spectrum of what hip-hop was built on.
You know, hip-hop wise, you know, of course, you got, you know, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5, you got the Crash Crew, you got the Cold Crush Brothers, you got Funky 4 plus 1 more. I mean, there's just so many different people that come to mind.
Anyway, here we are in back of the center. Whenever the summertime kicked in, we have our block parties. We would come back here and we would play on this stage back here. This is where everybody would be. Right on the stage right here, you have everybody you could think of out here. Everybody would come from all projects across, from Brooklyn, from Queens, from Manhattan, across town, the Bronx here, uptown, the Bronx, everywhere. Connecticut, they would come right here. And with everybody, you could see everybody out here doing the hustle, you know. They got their partners, they're hustling and everything. This was happening.
We was more or less, you know, just trying to have a good time in numbers. We were always in numbers, but, you know, it was more of a party thing of who can get the most girls.
And when we rapped on records, we didn't rap to try to hurt anybody. We rapped amongst each other. And we let the audience decide
the winner.
Who was the winner.
That's right.
This was really a time where disco was really popular. Saturday Night Fever, the Bee Gees, Donna Summer, Studio 54. All this was really, really going on, and it was a big, big party scene here in New York especially, but all over the United States.
First of all, disco was out before hip-hop music. Then it transited to bebop music.
And growing up in Queens or Manhattan or the South Bronx or Brooklyn, we couldn't get into the discos. You needed money. It was all about. It was like high class lifestyle. But the music they was playing was weak. It was corny. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't into the Bee Gees and Saturday Night, John Travolta and all of that stuff. So we had to make our own discos. We didn't have access to what they had. So we did the best that we could.
king in the throne to make peace and never country build a home as a home. I'm not running for the Congress or the president. I'm just here to tell the world how my story went. But see, first it was a dream. I was living in Rome and then I moved to London. But a brand new home and everywhere I went, I drew lots of attention like a stretch limousine with those new inventions. It took a few years for the day had come. I was ruler of the world, ranked #1. So I headed toward Washington to claim a crown and let the whole world know that the king was in town.
Block parties and street jams were where hip-hop started back in the day. The early DJs at the block parties began isolating the percussion breaks to hit songs, realizing that they were the most danceable and entertaining parts of the song. The music was popular, and the people came from all over the city to dance and have a good time. Different crews set up their sound systems in the parks and the streets throughout the Bronx to provide the partygoers with some music to dance to. Instead of fighting, they challenged each other to break-dancing battles. Block parties diffused negativity between different crews and became a way for kids to show off the skills and express themselves through music.
We took the model from Kool Herc. The DJs used to set up the turntables in the parks or in the basements of house parties.
Back then, the way everything got started was mostly like, the people brought your sound system out. Kool Herc had the Herculoids, which were the two big which was his big sound system and big speakers, and you would bring them out and put them into the park. I mean, literally plug them into the electric in the pole and throw park jams and throw parties in the street.
I didn't know I could sue because nobody ever told me so. And I pretty much put the thing out of my mind until I heard it on the radio. And every station played hip, hop to the hippie, people running up to me in the street, saying we heard your rhymes on the radio. They robbed you and that good times beat. It would have been alright had I copyright or a lawyer who knew my Steve. So I did a big bang, forgot rappers alike, and did what I had to do for me. I've been known to flip a bird, 24 is preferred. I write a word for word, take it, shake it.
Street party means having a good time, jamming at a block party in the summertime, watching all the ladies shake their thing and the brothers get down to boogie and make that swing.
Oh, the block parties. Oh man, they just kept growing and all the fat bitches just kept coming out. I just was liking it.
We used to play all day, first of all, okay? You bring your set out, but after we got smart enough to notice, you kind of wait till the sun would go down a little bit. You know what I mean? Because we used to bring our set out in the morning sometimes. People, noon, like before the sun hit high, but then if you out in the open, the sun will melt your records. You know what I mean? So after a while, we got a little smart. We either got some place where it was some shade, behind the wall or something, or we came out, once it got cool and the sun went down.
We used to do 123. We used to do Cedar Park. We used to travel all around, do parks.
Back in the days, they used to throw a lot of hip-hop shows at the Audubon Ballroom. You have to go to the T-Connection, have to go to Harlem World.
When we did parks, right, it was crazy because everybody got to come out for free. See, hip-hop ain't like that no more, but we're going to bring it back and let y'all know what it was really all about.
It was like a minstrel show, man, like, the minstrel shows in town, and everybody from the nearing towns and stuff would come, and really, that's the way it was back then. I mean, people would walk from where Kool Herc's side of town, which was as far as you can go west in the Bronx before going in the water.
And the B-boys would come and they would start dancing. Usually in the park where they were, there was in the handball court or whatever, there was a big mural done, by a graffiti artist on the wall, Then you had the DJ, and then all of a sudden, someone would get on the mic and start DJing. Busy B or whoever it would be would come down, get on the mic. Then the battles would start. Who did the better raps, and who did this better, and who did that better. And then the B-boying battles would start. Who danced better, who did this better. And then the graffiti wars would start. Who did this, who burned this wall better, or who burned this train better. And then it just kept growing and growing and growing into this whole movement and culture. And it took a lot of focus off of violence and a lot of focus. And it was an outlet for especially the inner city kids to do and to use to get out there and explode with their talents and their artistic abilities.
Well, in the summertime, we could throw a block party every Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then sometimes it could be almost every day of the week. It depends on how we was feeling and when we wanted to just set the speakers up outside and get out there and funk it up for the neighborhood and for the city.
Never had a decent sound system.
You was lucky to get $10 a party if you was an MC back then. Back then they had crews of 4 and 5 MCs. $100 was a lot of money back then.
Yeah, we used to charge 50 cents to get in our parties.
That's where the hip hop was birthed. Like before the big video budgets, before the big concerts.
You got your crowd participation, you know what I mean? You got your times where you just break away and you showcase the DJ cutting and stuff. But basically, we was on that mic. A real MC, you couldn't get them to put that mic down or pass it. That was never a problem. Rhyming that long or holding the mic down or whatever was never the problem. Because this was something new and it was our thing.
The crowd was so big from coming from when the Bronx gave something as far as a block party from the Bronx River. You had people coming from the South Bronx, the west side of the Bronx, and you had people coming from Harlem, Brooklyn. When Brooklyn come to the house, Brooklyn rocked the house. Then you had Queens. Queens started coming along. It was so crowded.
From that era, it was all fun. We did music for the love of it.
It was fun. You know, it was something new to everybody. It was a way to get, kids off, get their mind off the troubles at home and everything. And it was a lot of fun. That was the difference between there was a dark age of hip hop. And now hip hop's becoming fun again, but then it was fun. It wasn't about, who had this and who was killing that and I got the biggest gun and I could do this and I'll shoot you if you do this. It was about I'm the dopest MC and nobody can take my crown. I'm the dopest dancer and nobody can take this, watch what I could do. Or I'm the best artist out here and look with the train that I burned. So it was bragging rights pretty much and but it was fun in what they talked about.
We also had a problem. We didn't have our own music, so we had to find music to rap over. And we had to find music to DJ. Actually, this is before MCing we got really big. We used to have to find records to play. So basically what we did, we dug into the old crates of records that was laying around, and we took a lot of James Brown records. We took a lot of rock records. We took a lot of funk records, and we would play these records. People would gather, we'd play the records. And we have our own little Studio 54 going on in the hood, but it was more, it was energetic. It was rebellious, it was raw, it was fun, and it was no holds barred. We didn't discriminate. You came as you were, and you would express yourself, whether it was through DJing, or whether it was through MCing, or whether it was through breakdancing, which was our dance at the time.
So like 74, 75, we was the Zulu Kings. We used to dance in the park. And we used to go to Bronxdale, Castle Hill, and dance. And then from us dancing, it just moved on.
There was breakdancers crews like Flash. He had the Boston Road crew, Casanova crew. That was they breakdancers. DJ Smokey. Yeah. And the Smokatron, his brother DJ Roscoe.
B-boy or B-girl, or or Boogie Boy or somebody, Boogie Boy was somebody that popped, B-boy was somebody that, as the media put it, breakdance. We didn't call it breakdancing, we called it B-boying or breaking.
We did it as far as dancing wise. When you dance, if they do a freeze, that was like, get out my face. When you make different moves, that was like frustration. You getting your frustration out. You getting your frustration out and dancing. That's how you enjoy yourself. It was a relaxation of getting the frustration out, the anger out of you. Dance your way out of your anger. You don't have to pick up guns, knives, or any bottles of sticks. Use your mind.
It was the fun, and it was like I said, when we talk about the breakdancing and all that, don't get it twisted. It was real gangsters doing this. Don't think it was just some soft guy dancing. Right. We had the soft guy. It was real gangsters doing this. Guys that'll put your lights out, come in a circle, and we all start dancing and solve our problems. It wasn't just some little punk guy on the side. We said, get out there and do a two-step. It was real gangsters.
With them damn beat 'em C's I left dead on the floor. Yo, they ass noses. Letters was made for jaws. They should be behind real rap bars. Not a table is set. Just show some respect like it's a meet and greet and I'm the lyrical vet. I don't care what you want. I don't care what you got. My flame stays on blow so I can roast the whole spot. Touch tones, gravy and bones. New technology, encrypted microphones. Setting off.
You had a problem with another crew. Instead of fighting, that's how we solved our problem. We put our best dancers up against their best dancers. That's how BAM made us solve our problems. Still going to the guns, going to the knives.
Dance it out.
Dance it out.
Dance it out.
That's where breakdance and all that came from.
Yeah, basically we used to have center parties. You had crews like Mastodon, Def Committee. We used to battle with them down in Lincoln Center.
He doesn't mean Lincoln Center on 66th Street where they have the operas and all of that. He means Lincoln Center, Lincoln Projects up in Harlem. It was a community center, and that's where the battles went down. Not like in Lincoln Center where they have the opera and the ballet and all of that stuff.
We used to get in arguments with them and almost go to bat and fighting with them, but then when we came out, it was all love. So those was like our brothers. We like, you know, it's like different stories with each one of them, with the Zulu, with Bambaataa, with Grandmaster Flash, and all. It's just different stories on how we all came together. But it was always the battles, but that was the battle of love, man, and that's what brought the best out of us.
MC battles and DJ battles came about when many of the DJs decided to put up their sound systems and play at the same time, and whoever had the most powerful sound system will override the other sound system and be rocking the house, and a lot of time it caused chaos. But Drew, myself, and the Universal Zulu Nation, we put a stop to that, and we started making all the DJs play an hour against us, and we played an hour against them, and then we let the people decide who has rocked the house that night, or that day, or that afternoon in the park.
Well, it was back then, like you said, with Mario, Mr. Biggs. That's when the real battles would start. See, people think just me and Kumo D started the battles. That's not true. Me and Mr. Biggs. And Mr. Biggs was the MC for Bambaataa at that time. And we started the battles, because then we used to talk about, your mother looks so fat, she's looked like the polar. You know, we had those kind of battles and stuff like that. And nobody really paid attention to those, because it was a fun thing, like it was even when me and Kumo D started the battles, you know, and stuff like that. But back then, I was with Disco King Mario. Bambaataa had Mr. Biggs. Africa Islam didn't have a MC, and he was the son of Bambaataa. And I had to get down with that. I used to see Melly Mel, and I was on the east side of town where the L brothers were Mean Gene, Theodore, Flash, and the two MCs had his brother Kid Creole, and it was Cowboy. And I used to see them rock on the microphone, and I said, yeah, I could do that. I know I could do that, you know what I'm saying? So I got down with them, and I didn't get down with them like just to say I'm part of the crew, but I traveled around, I watched them, I stayed in the background a lot of times, and then I went on the other side of town, and I grabbed the microphone, they let me grab it, and I started rocking to the beat, and it just kept going on, and I said I can do this, because I was doing good at it, you know, and people was coming around, see Busy B saying all that stuff. I was a little short guy, you know what I'm saying? But I was doing my thing, and that made me just keep on rocking, you know what I'm saying? So here I am, Chief rocking it right here, still.
Really, when all the DJ battles really started coming on strong was in the years of 1977 on up. All the years before that, it was just a lot of DJ mixing. It was starting to get off the ground, a lot of parties, being in community centers, then from community centers getting bigger and bigger, going into the gymnasiums, and from the gymnasiums into the high schools and the junior high school, and from the high schools into the colleges.
At that time, if you wasn't with a #1 crew or a #1 DJ, because it was more about the DJs at that time, Bambaataa, Kool Herc, Grandmaster Flash, Cool DJ AJ, Theodore, and if you wasn't like with an MC for one of those guys, then it was real hard then, because even if you was doing, and I was working with AJ at that time, when it started getting real strong, I was working with AJ. We was doing a lot of shows. We was giving shows in Harlem World, Celebrity Club, all up in Harlem before it got like early 80s, you know what I'm saying? And there was a lot of MCs then trying to get work, but AJ, myself, the Cold Crush brothers, we was constantly working, keep it going. Bambaataa was working at that time, and he had the Cosmic Force, he had the Jazzy 5, he had a Soul Sonic Force, so we had Zulu Nation all over.
hip hop wasn't called hip hop at the time. We got hip hop from a brother, Love Bug Starsky.
Hello.
Love Bug Starsky was another
Hello.
MC and a DJ.
Yeah, they know Love Bug.
Who
They know
was
Love
across
Bug.
town saying every time he got on the mic, he would go to the hip, the hop, the hippity, hip hop, you know, and so on and so on.
That's
so Bam decided, hey, that sound hot. Let's call this thing that we do MCing, DJ, and whatever, hip hop. That's where the name hip hop come from. That's where we at.
As a teenager growing up in the Bronx, Bam joined a violent street gang, the Black Spades. But he was always more interested in the music than causing trouble. His excellent turntable techniques earned him a reputation as the top DJ in the city. His block parties and breakdancing competitions raised him to legendary status amongst his peers. In 1974, Bam formed the Zulu Nation, a crew comprised of former gang members to help assemble the elements of the culture. Not only did the Zulu Nation throw parties and have fun, but they showed people that there was a world outside of the Bronx. Bam spent a time away from the turntables, teaching and preaching with Zulu members to bring out positive change. Today, Bam's Zulu Nation has spread to an estimated 10,000 members in more than 20 countries.
This is Africa Bambaataa, Universal Zulu Nation, godfather of hip-hop culture, standing on the fifth element, knowledge, culture, and overstanding, as we sign out on planet Earth, because I got to get back to my other universe, in another dimension of time, of dark matter, driving through the speed of light.
Africa Bambaataa.
Africa Islam.
Africa Islam, that's right.
Peace and blessings to all the beings and human beings on our planet, so-called Earth, and in our universe. This is Africa Bambaataa, Universal Zulu Nation, the godfather of hip-hop culture, as I come from many planets to blow your funky mind.
When I was little, I used to hear about Bambaataa and Kool Herc, Grandmaster Flash, them cats like that. If it wasn't from them, it wouldn't be no hip-hop at all.
It's so deep as far as what Bam did in hip-hop. Bam started out in Bronx River when in his house.
My very first time at Bam's party, I danced against members of the Shaka Zulus. I came out victorious. I got to meet Bam. We became tight, you know. Turned out that we knew each other through various associations of the Black Spades.
Bam brought the leadership. He brought the positive into it.
Yes.
Because it was a lot of negative. Bam brought the positive in.
Use your mind. Use your mind. Enjoy music. Learn to listen to the music. Listen to the beat. Bam always taught us, listen to the beat. When he plays his music, he always start off instrumental first. Then he'll put in James Brown or listen to the drummer's beat. Then you feel it. You feel it. Apache. You felt all this. All this came from within you.
I became the godfather of hip-hop culture, which was put on me by the people who loved hip-hop. I became the grandfather of hip-hop culture by all the other second and third generation who came out under the Native Tongues and many of the other groups that was coming out who calling me the grandfather of hip-hop.
Well, if it wasn't for Africa Bambaataa, I wouldn't be here now. He influenced me such a great deal. I used to go to his house back in the days in Bronx River. He had records all over the place, turntables. I mean, there were things that were going on that I couldn't even comprehend at the time.
Basically, he was the man. You know, if you wanted to go to a party where the music was totally different, Bambaataa was the man. He's on the side of town nobody really wanted to play in. And the beautiful thing about that was, when you went, you knew you was at a different party. You knew it was different from going to, say, like, Herc, AJ and Love Bug, or Smokey and the Smokatrons. I mean, Bam was just Bam. He was his own man, doing his own thing, and like I said, that was the place to be. 123, Bronx River.
Nobody could claim that they was talking about hip-hop until they got with the Universal Zulu Nation, because before that, it was no name. We used to call it boing on yoing, or that bebop type of thing.
Africa Bambaataa, he created the Zulu Nation, and the idea behind that was to bring the people together, to bring the youth, to bring the streets, to bring the ghetto together so we could do something constructive and creative to get up out the ghetto.
I started off in the Zulu Nation in Stone City Chapter 5. and that was Tony Tone from Lafayette, and he was our chapter leader.
Zulu Nation brought unity to the game as far as putting everybody together under one flag, because back in the days it was like a lot of gang violence like in the early 70s and stuff. So Bam, Africa Bambaataa, through his vision, formed what he calls the Zulu Nation.
Zulu Nation encouraged me to live the hip-hop culture in so many ways that we don't have enough tape to go into that.
Zulu Nation was such a big family. Everybody's so close in together, and being part of that, you could go anywhere in the country or anywhere in the world, and you were part of that group. Then you were down with the family, no matter where you were.
The official birthday of the Universal Zulu Nation and the official birthday for when we named the culture of hip-hop is November 12th, 1973.
They are the founding fathers. They're the kings. They pass it down to us, and we pass it so forth on.
I live wherever I live on the planet so-called Earth, whether I'm in the Bronx, New York, whether I'm in Brooklyn, whether I'm in Florida, whether I'm in the Middle East, whether I'm in Africa, the West Indies, the Isles of Pacific, all over the planet. But I'm not really from this planet.
Originally consisted of DJs, a couple of B-boys, and some graph artists, and ex-gang members who were security or whatever.
Oh, Zulu positive all the way, all the way. Ain't nothing bad about Zulu,
The Universal Zulu Nation is a huge body of individuals, people of all races and nationality and religious background, who stand for knowledge, wisdom, understanding, freedom, justice, and equality, peace, unity, love, and having fun, overcoming the negative to the positive, science, mathematics, faith, and the oneness of God. This is what the Universal Zulu Nation stands for.
You're looking at the byproduct, the end result, and the next result. That's what I'm going to birth from out the Zulu womb. They groomed me.
Bam showed them a better way of how to do things like through the music, express yourself through the music, and basically to leave the streets alone.
All right, back then, man, Bambaataa, the Zulu Nation, Soul Sonic Force, you know what I'm saying? They was like guys that I looked up to, you know what I'm saying? They played on one side of town, you know what I'm saying? Me and Flash and Theodore played on one other side of town. Grandmaster, Bambaataa, Theodore, they all had their situations locked down. And I have much respect for Bambaataa and the Zulu Nation, you know what I'm saying? I used to pay to see him before I started DJing.
Mind control! Somebody scream! Mind control! The new world order is coming for your mind. Microchips, warlocks and witches, computer chips, and you. You gotta rock and say stop it, 'cause it's the century. There is such a place that creates such a melody. Our world gon' find a plan of the master jam. Get up and dance.
I'm Zulu, you know what I mean? The fourth generator, the fourth son of Africa Bambaataa. Not the S-O-N, but the S-U-N.
I'm still a Zulu. I'm a Zulu king right to this day. But it was that many people, and we broke it up as much as we could to let everybody get their little shine and make some money and get love in hip-hop.
Zulu Nation was so big that the chapters were so spread around. When there was a problem with two individual blocks, you had leaders. You can call that leader up, call Brent up from this area. Brent, there's a problem with Mike in this area, and they'll get together and squash that out of respect, because that's how we taught. We went to the leaders, and they handled that and sat two men down like gentlemen, and they talked about it.
Black Spades was really a big street game. And Africa Bambaataa was like, okay, we need to take this energy that we have, this negative energy of us fighting each other, or we out here stabbing each other, beating each other down for turf. We need to take this energy that we have and channel it in a positive way.
Back in '91, I got into the Shaka Zulu. God rest his soul, Brother B.O.
I was a Shaka Zulu, the security for the Zulu Nation. I was a lieutenant, and B.O., God bless his soul, he was the leader. I was lieutenant, you had your captains. We had a chain of command in the Shaka Zulu. And we was basically security. When something went down, you went to security to handle it before you went to the soldiers, the top guys, to handle what was going on. So we always tried to stop it in peace, but sometimes it led to violence, I ain't gonna lie.
positive note about hip-hop music. They were gangs formed. We use hip-hop music to transcend from the gang violence.
That's right.
To go into the music industry.
That's right.
And I have much respect for Bambaataa and Zulu Nation, you know what I'm saying? He's a legend.
It wasn't, when you said gang, we're not talking the Bloods and the Crips. Them was gangs who get initiation, they talk about you get beat up. This was something that you was getting knowledge from. And so it's a totally different. You was getting knowledge, you was getting things you could tell you about how big is the earth and the circumference of the earth, and about Mecca, the holy city of Mecca. So you was getting knowledge out of this thing. This is how you got your stripes in the Zulu Nation. The more knowledge you got, the more stripes you got.
Rock the house, show.
Before I was a DJ, I was a straight up gangbanger, running with many of our posses of the Black Spades, the Savage Nomads, and the 70 Mortals, terrorizing all over New York City, just gangbanging and getting wild and building up our area in the southeast Bronx River, making them come from what they would call Little Vietnam to a place they called the home of God.
Yo, we gon' do this love American style, hip hop. This is what we live over here. It's what we started over here. This how we gon' do this right here. Come on, drop that shit. Hip hop America. We love you. Black America. We love you. White America. We love you. Hip hop America. We love you. Politicians lie. Whole families die. You gotta fight for your slice of this American pie. I was touched by an American. The plan was this. Cut off their bloodline so them niggas ain't got shit. But we got broccoli and sake. Mahi mahi. American gangster bitches and preachers out of cocky. We got Max and hoes. Pimps with afros. White American bitches that don't wear clothes. On the cover of Hustler. Just waiting to touch her. Some hairy pussy bitches we imported from Russia. We got thugs that love to throw slugs. Crips and Bloods. Plus them fat ass buds. We got congressional seats. Boxes and briefs. Nasty trick bitches that don't wash their sheets. We got the Statue of Liberty. Blind Lady Justice. No wonder outside of the borders they can't trust us. We got people and folk. Cooked up coke. Porno stars that love to deep throat. The Sopranos, Mr. Nice Guys. Sicilian mobsters that'll take your lives. Hip Hop America. We love you. Black America. We love you. White America. We love you. Hip Hop America. We love you. Native America. We love you. Black America. We love you. White America. We love you. Latin America. We love you. I can see what they got, yo, but I ain't got shit. No pot to throw piss, no dreams of being rich. It's that American shit that throws my life off track. But it's the love of hip hop that keeps bringing me back. I say I'm right and exact in the land of the free, and I'm guilty as charged. Now who wanna see me? 18 can't drink, but they sent me to war. Now I fight till I can't fight no more. But I avoided that shit. I put my heart in the street with 2 turntables and a fat ass beat. Now my life's complete. You hear my story on wax. I live and die by the scratch. I push the shit to the max. I'm a hip hop American, born to fall, and I'm writing my name in graffiti on the wall. I got the right to vote, and I elect. I know you suckers can't stand me, but give me respect. Hip hop America. We love you. Black America. We love you. White America. We love you. Hip hop America. We love you. Native America. Yo, we gon' do this love American style, hip hop. This is what we live over here. It's what we started over here. This how we gon' do this right here. Come on, drop that shit. Hip hop America. We love you. Black America. We love you. White America. We love you. Hip hop America. We love you. Politicians lie. Whole families die. You gotta fight for your slice of this American pie. I was touched by an American. The plan was this. Cut off their bloodline so them niggas ain't got shit. But we got broccoli and sake. Mahi mahi. American gangster bitches and preachers out of cocky. We got Max and hoes. Pimps with afros. White American bitches that don't wear clothes. On the cover of Hustler. Just waiting to touch her. Some hairy pussy bitches we imported from Russia. We got thugs that love to throw slugs. Crips and Bloods. Plus them fat ass buds. We got congressional seats. Boxes and briefs. Nasty trick bitches that don't wash their sheets. We got the Statue of Liberty. Blind Lady Justice. No wonder outside of the borders they can't trust us. We got people and folk. Cook hoes, Mr. Nice Guys, Sicilian mobsters that'll take your lives. Hip Hop America, we love you. Black America, we love you. White America, we love you. Hip Hop America, we love you. Native America, we love you. Black America, we love you. White America, we love you. Latin America, we love you. I can see what they got, yo, but I ain't got shit. No pot to throw piss, no dreams of being rich. It's that American shit that throws my life off track. But it's the love of hip-hop that keeps bringing me back. I stand right and exact in the land of the free, and I'm guilty as charged. Now who wanna see me? 18 can't drink, but they send me to war. Now I fight till I can't fight no more. But I avoided that shit. I put my heart in the street with 2 turntables and a fat-ass beat. Now my life's complete. You hear my story on wax. I live and die by the scratch. I push the shit to the max. I'm a hip-hop American, born to ball, and I'm writing my name in graffiti on the wall. I got the right to vote, and I elect. I know you suckers can't stand me, but give me respect. Hip-Hop America, we love you. Black America, we love you. White America, we love you. Hip-Hop America, we love you. Native America, we love you. Black America, we love you. White America, we love you. Latin America,
we take it over everywhere you go. The beats to splash. You can't escape the music, just join the mass. I love it all, hard or smooth, just rep your throne. Only the strong survive. Respect the power of the chrome. If you ain't heard, you must live under a rock. Hip hop's the funk that knocks for blocks and keeps a hit slot. Check the whips, check the chips, check the hourglass girls, check the Timbs and the rims. Nah, fuck it, check the world, lay down the law like the government, but will impeach the president if money spitting flames, showing any type of negligence. You out of here, one slip, you're done. For the most part, we misunderstood. It's all in fun, just bringing thoughts to the table that rattle the earth. Deep rooted reality that's starting to surface. Only get thrown in the ring, we got heavy ammo. The New World Army minus the uniforms and flannels. Casinos on every block, and this ain't Las Vegas.
Hip-hop's official birthday is November 12, 1973. The Universal Zulu Nation has been celebrating hip-hop's birthday in the month of November ever since its creation. November has always been an important month in the hip-hop history because it kicks off the transition from the outdoor summer block parties to the winter indoor jams held in school gymnasiums and community centers all over the Bronx. These cold season jams earned reputations for being the hottest hip-hop parties of the year. Some of the most legendary MC battles happened in indoor parties. The hip-hop world continues to recognize November as Hip-Hop History Month, paying tribute to its pioneers who laid the foundation and paved the way, as well as those who continue to preserve the rich tradition of the culture.
Back in November, I went to my boss, which was Senator Espada at the time. We were sitting in the office in Albany, up in the capital, state capital, and we talked about trying to bring forth and celebrate the month of November, because that's the Zulu Nation anniversary is in the month of November. So we figured the best thing to do was to make November Hip Hop History Culture Month.
Hip Hop History Culture Month, and that month is the month of November, right? And which is also the month of the Zulu Nation anniversary, all right? And there's a proclamation from the Senate on that issue. So I'm more or less trying to get these young kids to understand the culture, because there is a culture.
They made it official. It was voted unanimously. No one opposed it. All 61 senators voted yes for it. And it was by State Senator Pedro Espada Jr. And I was proud to bring forth this, because this is a very important moment. The state of New York now recognizes November as the first hip-hop History Culture Month, and Bambaataa as being the first hip-hop activist.
It's not about the 20-inch rims or what you riding in. It's about this music that we love, you know, and a lot of people died for, if you want to be in all actuality.
The hip-hop culture is not about hoes and bitches and smoking blunts and how many drugs you can sell. The hip-hop culture is about peace, love, and having fun.
Well, this is through a lot of hard work through the Universal Zulu Nation of many years of being true to the hip-hop culture and working with the great Senator Espada, who officially went into the Senate and push for Hip Hop History Month.
You know, 80s, very early 80s, obviously that's when finally hip hop started, coming on the radio more and more, and you started to see, hip hop on the radio. And then obviously you had Sugar Hill Gang, and come out and do their thing with their record, and it blew up and became big. And then all of a sudden it was on American Bandstand and on Soul Train, and now all of a sudden, Middle America started to see what this was and this movement. So now it moved out of the Bronx and out of New York and started moving across the country, because now visually people started to see, and also on the radio people started to hear a little bit. So now kids in other places started to get into it. So more kids from other places started getting into rap and getting into b-boy again. So now all of a sudden it's exploding.
The Universal Zulu Nation has sold hundreds and thousands of cassette tapes throughout the city of New York. And then we started spreading it out through the tri-state area of Connecticut, New Jersey. Then we started heading further south to Maryland and DC, and then to other parts in Europe and many other places. That's how the cassettes started traveling.
Tapes. Flash used to sell tapes. Yeah. The first mixtape. Yeah, Flash used to sell the tapes, and and they give shout outs and all. I mean, you could buy them, like a lot of them, over the internet. I don't know how they sell them on tapes or CDs, however they do it now. But Flash used to sell tapes of the shows and little mixtapes or whatever.
Then all of a sudden, I believe it was '83, a guy by the name of Charlie Stetler, who's the guy who single-handedly brought the Fresh Fest across the country, with Swatch as the sponsor, which nobody ever had a sponsor ever for hip hop. And this man went in there and got a lot of money to sponsor this tour, which had, Dynamic Breakers, Rocksteady Crew. Fresh Fest was the first tour and by far the best hip hop tour ever to go out on the road.
Someone yell out, yo! Someone went to the stage to make us speak about the new style of living I was gonna see. Yeah, y'all remember this song? Sing along, everybody! Say what? I love him, baby! Yeah.
Well, after rap got really big, it was easy for people to say, okay, I'm gonna stop selling drugs and I'm gonna go make a record, because everybody was into hip hop, whether he was a school kid, whether he was going to college, whether he was a drug dealer.
That's when hip hop shows were real shows too. It was just like, it was more than just watching somebody rock back and forth on the stage and just rhyme. I mean, it was a show, and nobody did it better than like Run and LL, Public Enemy. Their stage show was the most amazing thing to ever see in my life.
Make me wonder how I keep them going under. Say it as loud as you can. It's like a jungle sometimes. It make me wonder how I keep them going under. Check it out. A child is born with no state of mind, blind to the ways of mankind. God is smiling on you, but he's frowning too. Cause only God knows what you'll go through. And you'll grow in the ghetto, living second rate. Your eyes will sing a song of deep hate. The places you play and where you stay looks like one great big alleyway. You'll admire.
We help create like an industry that allows so many people to work and have jobs, you know what I mean? It's to create, it's like an empire out of somebody where you don't have to be a college graduate to get in this business and become a multi-millionaire.
You could start to see the movement going, Dougie Fresh, Biz Markie, EPMD, Public Enemy, Big Daddy Kane, KRS-One. It was just Schoolie D. It was a melting pot of MCs that were coming out of New York, and the culture was still a culture because you still had the b-boying, you still had the DJing. And then all of a sudden, as the end of the 80s came, then you had the West Coast coming in. At the end of the 80s, then the DJ wasn't as important anymore. Then the DJ really wasn't. You started to see less and less groups that had a DJ in the back. Or if they did have a DJ in the back, they really weren't DJing because this new technology came out called the DAT recorder. And then everybody started to put their shows on DAT, and they didn't need a DJ anymore.
I don't know if people are familiar with hip hop, but the group called the Funky Four MCs plus one more, KK Rockwell, Keith Caesar, Zaddy Dub, Little Rodney C, and my sister Shy Rock. Well, their DJs was called DJ Breakout and DJ Baron. But DJ African Bambaata's very first party that he ever gave was hip-hopping in this center. DJ Breakout was not this, he was a b-boy then. Me, him, and this brother right here, Armin Henderson, we were rivals against the other side of town where I come from, as far as dancing and so forth. And we had a big thing up here on the dance tip, and we did our thing in here.
That's right.
And that's what really
right.
started making people
That's right.
on my side of town, which is the South Bronx, Boston Road, to Washington Avenue,
We was tearing people up.
start
yo. We get on the
realizing
floor,
over
do
here,
our little-
right?
Our little break
For
dance
real.
thing.
A lot of people say that rap is the new drug game. There's a lot of competition, and there's a lot of money at stake. And whereas back in the day, where Bambaataa was saying, instead of fighting, let's have an MC battle or a DJ battle. But nowadays, the stakes are so high that these guys, they come into the rap business with the drug mentality. If I say your rhymes are fake, your record's fake, and your crew is weak, these guys really take it literally personal. Or if I see you in a club, I'm gonna shoot you. Or if I see you in a club, I'm gonna beat you down. Or you don't be disrespecting me. And they're forgetting this is hip hop, this is rap, this is DJing, this is about creativity.
A few things discouraged me from the hip hop business. It was the fact that twice I was robbed of my material. Yes, I was robbed of my material.
I didn't know I could sue because nobody ever told me so. And I pretty much put the thing out of my mind until I heard it on the radio. And every station playing hip, hop to the hippie, people running up to me in the street, saying we heard your rhymes on the radio. They robbed you and they...
Even in the early days of Run DMC, we had a big gang fight in Long Beach where the Crips and Bloods came in. They love rap, they love Run DMC, but it was just bad that these two groups were in the same place at the same time. So eventually things was going to happen.
It's just a lot of the gangster rap started to come out. I mean, I don't want to ever say it's a West Coast thing or an East Coast thing. It kind of came a combination of both sides.
That light, a wildin' miners pushing Land Rovers, the diners, hammering bone with diamonds, shining my gear like lighters. The skull sign for crimes, the bloody X for rhymes, a miner ready to die. So let hell abroad, surprise. My whole team blowing up with me. All of us flooded with G, fucking through talking, so just be. Cause this crazy ass lust for big heads. Got a serving heads, 1 and 1 from the son of darkness. As I walk this corrupt line through life, knowing things I do ain't right, it's all good. I live in pre-prime, sipping naughty all the time. High times, loving pepperhead. For the women that fill my bed, I make them beg for forgiveness. For holding out, perfect poem be about business. Freaking believe them twisted, holding their stomach. Mad cash I want it, so somebody's got it running like a robbery.
It's easy for you to pick up a gun and shoot somebody. But it's not easy for you to figure out how can I beat this guy one-on-one on a microphone. And so basically what happened is a lot of these people coming out of the hood is bringing the street drug dealer gang mentality into the rap business. And that's what's making us revert back to the senseless violence that you see prevalent.
I loved the music. I did it for the love of the music, but I also had to feed my kids. So my thing was I had to go to get a job.
In New York, and the graffiti scene, you know, got killed when the subway's cars weren't getting hit anymore because they put the graffiti-proof subway cars. You know, the dancing started to go down a little bit, and now all of a sudden, and then MTV just kept making the videos of the rap videos, and then all of a sudden the culture got very diluted.
As long as you got talent, you know, it's never too late for you. You can always you can always come out whenever you feel like it, as long as you got talent. And eventually, I will get back into the game, but on better grounds, with more knowledge of the business.
Hip hop is a positive way of life. What the hell are these guys doing, bringing it nonsense back into the game? I know, especially for people like Bambaataa, it's got to be disappointing. It's like, what are you guys doing?
What began as a positive and creative way for kids from the Bronx to overcome the violence and poverty in their neighborhood has become a worldwide phenomenon and a billion-dollar industry. Record labels jumped at the chance to sell rap music, making it the most profitable music genre in the world today. But the success has brought corruption and a divergence from the essence of hip-hop culture. Ironically, competing labels get caught up in the violence the culture tried to get away from. The true essence of the culture is often misrepresented in popular rap music. Current rap artists have forgotten the message of the founding fathers of hip-hop.
I mean, the main difference between hip-hop then and hip-hop now is hip-hop was more integrated as far as the elements of hip-hop. When you thought about DJing, I mean, when you thought about rhyming or rapping, what they call now, you automatically pictured a DJ.
and you automatically saw b-boys, you know what I mean, and thought about graffiti. I mean, the whole scene came to mind. It was more, you know, about the whole scene of hip-hop, as opposed to today where it's just the most marketable element, which is the rap element, and you constantly inundated with images, you know, directed towards that and projecting that, and not the other elements. Which in the total makeup of the culture of hip hop, each element is just as important as the next.
The difference is the money. You know, see, back then when it was hip hop and everything, it was the fun. It was the enjoyment out of it. Now you got, you know, rappers coming out. It's about the money, straight up and down. It's about who making the money. Then you got this one telling stories about this one so they could come out and make money. It's all about the money. Back then, the difference to me, that's the only difference. It's about they getting the money down and you wasn't getting the money then. But the love, some rappers now, they still had a love for it. You know what I mean? But it's all about the money. That's the difference that I see. But some of them come out and they still got the love for it. But it's all about the money, though.
But in the scheme of marketing and stuff like that, rap is the most, you know, marketable and money-making thing.
Music is calms savage beats. When you get upset and everything, it cools you down. When we play our music is that when we spit rhymes, when we first started spitting rhymes, it was positive rhymes. I don't know what happened to it. It flipped over. Why? I do not know. But what we're trying to do now is correct it. That's why we're coming back together again and trying to let people know that we're now trying to show y'all that it's time to stop this violence.
Hip hop is hurting right now. It's time for the tables to change and come back to a conscious rap, conscious message. Because this materialistic world, this materialistic thing going on in this industry is going to cause this industry to go to waste. And that's what's happening. So it has to come back to the creators of hip hop.
See, hip hop was more creative back in the early days. We made up things to rhyme about. You understand what I'm saying? We made up stories and stuff. We created things that didn't really happen and created scenarios and tried to draw pictures for people and let them see it through our rhymes, you know? I know I did.
It's like a baby, he growing up, he got a little mature. It's like a teenager, you know what I'm saying? Get his first little thing, he gonna get wild. That's what's happening with hip hop. That's how I feel about hip hop right now. I'm almost sure that it will grow. When it get about 30 years, it'll mature. You know what I'm saying? And it'll calm down.
We, in the beginning, try to create great music, you know, clean music. And throughout the years, it took a little turn. But, you know, we still here, so we're gonna try to change the game back around.
Hip-hop, or rap, if you will, now is in its adolescence. And so, you know, like all adolescents, you know, they're a little rough around the edges and that sort of thing. And then eventually these cats will mellow out and, you know, it'll be time for the next set. So, you know, we'll see what happens with the music. It's developing.
Cats like me, our tapes was platinum. Like guys got platinum records out here. We sold tapes in the street, and you can't tell me our joints wasn't platinum because everybody had a Cold Crush tape.
I mean, I remember guys like Funkmaster Wizzy Wes, you know, guys like that. I mean, you know, guys that was really on the street level, they were like the kings. You know, and they're like washed away. I mean, I'm like, come on, you look at the R&B music of the world today. All the pioneers in R&B music today are in museums and, I mean, like history books and stuff.
I ain't dissing nobody, but yo, cats is mad lazy, yo. They don't know how to work a stage, they don't know how to work the mic, they don't take no time out, you know what I'm saying, to put together a beautiful choreographed show. And that's what, like, you know, I wanted to always emulate them, like, you know, Shango and Soul Sonic and all them and Cold Crush and all them, because, yo, cats was like the Temptations and all them back in the days and all that. Yo, niggas, cats was doing shows and coming to present you something. And when you living in the ghetto and you stressed out and you just leaving the block and you going to a jam, you ain't trying to hear no cat up there talking about how many shots he gonna bust up in me. Because I may just ran from outside doing that up into the jam. So I want to see something gonna take me away, and a lot of those ciphers allowed me to express that and to really basically get down a lot of legendary cats and MCs, yo.
From hearing the sound from many years ago, this thing they call technopop, I got into this music of electro, but they was calling techno, but I renamed it electro funk. And it came with this group called Kraftwerk. It came with this group called Yellow Magic Orchestra. It came with this group called Gary Newman. It came with a guy on synthesizer called Dick Hyman. I seen all these white people playing this type of techno, type of electro. And I seen the Asians playing this techno side of electro. So we wanted to be the first black group to come with the electro, and we added the funk. Thus came the birth of electro funk with the Soul Sonic Force, Africa Bambaataa, Arthur Baker, and John Roby.
It's a shame that a lot of the pioneers of this hip hop, you know, they're not receiving full credit that they deserve. They didn't get a lot of money like a lot of the rappers are today. Rappers today are getting $1 million contracts. You know, they learned a lot of this from old school pioneers like us, the Cool Hercs, the Africa Bambaatas.
Can't tell me our joints wasn't platinum because everybody had a Cold Crush tape, you know, or Grandmaster Caz tape or Bambaataa tape, or you know what I mean. That was our way of you know, getting our music out, you know, to the public back then.
In the business, when the business changed, I changed because I refused to. I mean, these guys now in the game right now, I see they're getting a lot of money. But back then, when we were coming up in the game, we wasn't getting no money. We was getting jerked. It was just for the love, you know. And they were making money off us like crazy, but we wasn't seeing nothing. We was just happy to be there holding the mic like this.
Used to practice. When you practice at home, I mean, I know me in particular, I used to record everything I did, pretty much. I'd come home, throw my books down, turn on the set and start playing and plug, you know, record everything. And I used to sell little tapes, $2 and $3, little weed money. You know what I mean? I used to have cats come to my house and sit down on the couch and wait right there. I got you. What you want, a 60 or a 90? And make it right there, you know what I mean? And just, you know, like that. So
This wouldn't be a business now. A lot of people, I mean, rappers now are living large off this music, large.
It's transcended around the world.
Like I said, I'm not known for, me or my group are really not known for our recording hits. We did like 4 records together, my group, the Cold Crush Brothers. I've done about 30 records altogether with other artists, written for other artists, or I've done as a solo artist myself, but none really escalated to hit status, you know what I mean? I have my core audience who listens to, who loves to hear Grandmaster Caz, and basically that's who I make the music for. But as far as hits that, I mean, records that we've done a record called The Weekend, was our first joint on Elite Records. Next was Punk Rock Rap, which was the first, our label was the first label picked up by a major, CBS Associated. And they were real up and happy about the record, but they didn't know that we were black. And when they heard the record, they was loving it. But when they saw us and found out we was a hip hop group, they bugged out and didn't know what to do.
These guys that's getting money now, this Murder Inc. and Puff Daddy, you know, they need to give back. I mean, even if it's to take these guys and say, you know something, you know, since you have the experience, you know, we're gonna use you as an A&R man. You know, let you listen to this music before we put it out there. You know, because all they doing is putting out a bunch of gangster music, and it's not real music. We made music to make people dance. We made happy music, party music. That's what it used to be about. Now it's about all the hoes and the bitches and the money, you know what I'm saying, and the cars and the rims. And it's not. It's more to life than that. That's why they got these young kids out here doing all kinds of crimes to get what they got, and half of them don't even got it.
You could tell it came from inside of somebody. You know, I think hip hop was more of that back then than it is now.
Hip hop, rap now, if you will, is here to stay. You know, it's this latest generation's, you know, jazz, if you will.
Although life has taken most of the innovators away from the hip-hop game, their hearts will never let go. Hip-hop is a part of who they are, who they will always be. Their dedication and love of hip-hop motivates them to stay in the game. With this type of commitment from them, the lifestyle of hip-hop will be around for a long, long time.
There were so many that are unsung that was out here before me, before DJ African Bambaataa was a DJ. Brother was breakdancing, you know what I'm saying? Such as my brother, like I said, I named a few before, and the list can go on and on. But there was breakdancers crews like Flash. He had the Boston Road crew, Casanova crew. That was they breakdancers. These are brothers that are not famous with this hip hop thing that's going on, but they're the unsung ones that paved the way for me, because I was watching them do it, because I was little, you know what I'm saying? These are brothers that Vibe don't know about, Source, right?
Right.
Many
Even
people know
going
about
back,
what we're telling you
going
about.
back to DJing, you know, Bambaataa was one. You know, Kool Herc was one. Grandmaster Flash was one. But you had other people. You had people over here like Disco King Mario.
God bless his
You know,
soul.
who's
Chuck
passed
City
away
crew.
now. Chuck City crew.
And,
right.
and check
You
this
had,
out, y'all.
Cool D and Tyrone.
Cool D and Tyrone,
You know,
that's right.
it was a
Kenny
lot
Ken.
of Kenny Ken.
Kenny
it was
Ken.
a lot of
Kenny Ken,
break,
no
even
doubt.
Breakout, and you know, who's still around.
Yeah.
You know, who really haven't got their full.
Right, the unsung heroes of hip hop
right,
we're telling you about.
exactly.
You're getting red footage, brothers, and this shit is real. These names that I'm giving y'all, you never heard them in the Source magazine, you never heard them in Vibe, and this is the truth. I am hip hop, and I'm gonna blow your mind.
See, when hip hop first started, we would look up to the elders in rap, and the younger kids would embrace what they were saying. Now, they see these images of guys so thugged out. When you look at the videos, everybody got guns and bags full of money, and everybody's partying and getting high, and there's like sex and violence, and it's just getting out of hand. So it's a continual cycle that's really going on. And that's because the rappers with the power are not making the records and giving the images necessary to make people make the right choices.
We need to band together and expand now and clean it up, basically. You know, there's a lot of things that went on, you know, as far as the corporate side with the monies that was spent, you know, the foundation that was destroyed, and we're just here to build up the foundation and get it right. You know,
That's why we're coming back together again and trying to let people know that we're now trying to show y'all that it's time to stop this violence. Stop all the stuff that's going down. Learn to be humble with your people, you know? Start showing love to each other instead of messing around, always want to fight each other all the daggone time. Stop being jealous of the next person all the time. If a person gets something, be happy for that person. Don't always have to knock that person down.
Go back to the LL, Kool Mo D. When they had a battle, they kept it at the mic. And that's what they're dealing about. And it's not always all about the money, because, I mean, when the money's gone, you got nothing. So what y'all out there doing, enjoy what you're doing and have fun with it, you know? And that's just part of life, man. Let love be love, man. Each one teach one, man. That's all I got to say.
I was put on earth to rhyme, and as far as I was concerned, like I said, at one point I was the best in the world, and still in my mind, and even bringing it into reality, even bringing it into fruition, because there's a long way to go in this game. I'm still the best. I'm always going to be the best, and that's my one strive. Like all these cats, like now, like, you know, it'd be like the grimy cat, and then it'd be like, you know, I'm going to be the next Tupac, or I'm going to be the next Biggie. Biggie and Tupac don't mean nothing to me. The big 50 Cent, he means nothing. We have these arguments. I have arguments with people all the time. They mean nothing to me.
So, you know, we'll see what happens with the music. It's developing. It's a bit, you know, on a little negative stage right now. It's a lot of violence going on and that sort of thing.
Because certain kids that think that it's cool to be like that, glorified, and then that's how more of it starts and spreads. And then when you have it in your videos like that, it's not a good thing and it's not a good image. And unfortunately, we live in such a visual society, and a lot of kids look up to a lot of artists that emulate some of this type of stuff. But we also, and now it's changing where we're a lot more responsible, because a lot of these artists have kids themselves now. So it's totally different. And as a parent, seeing this, you're not gonna want your kid coming up to you at 4 years old, 5 years old, talking about, I got my gat, niggas, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? It's like you can't emulate that anymore.
Everybody's going to be next, but you can't be first. That's who Melly Mel is. I'm the first MC, and that means more to me than anything else in the game, because just like I said, you could be whatever you want to be. You could be the richest man. I had my blessing. If I died right now, nobody could take the fact that God made me the first MC, and I'm going to be the best MC.
Today, I'd say icons that are still in the game, LL, Cool J, icon. It's hands down. Still had the longest career from radio to Headsprung right now, which is the hottest record in the world. I mean, it's every time I play that record, I mean, LL's back with a vengeance, keeps reinventing the wheel, icon. Snoop Dogg, icon. You know, still around, you know, came out of Dre's camp.
All the pioneers in R&B music today are in museums and like history books and stuff. This is a multi-billion-dollar business, and why are they not trying to dig deep into these streets? Because these people half of them are still living here, you know, and research this thing and put other people where they belong. Put them where they belong. Give back, you know. That's what's most important to me.
On a more personal level, just for me to just share certain things with my kids and to let them know that they do, in an indirect way, come from greatness. You know what I mean? That they came from, their father is part of this whole thing. Whenever you see any commercial from a McDonald's, this and anything where they use rap, I feel like I'm connected with that. Even if I could go in a club right now, and a lot of cats might not know me. As a matter of fact, a lot of cats don't know me. You know what I mean? But I know just being there, this is part of me.
To me, Eminem, icon. Eminem is going to be an icon. It changed the game.
Well, the message that I want to give to the guys that are in the game now, like Jay-Z, and I'm going to name names because they need to know who I am. All right, I'm Lux Diamond. All right, you will see me soon. So, they need to look back and give back to the guys that started this, because without them, there wouldn't have been no hip hop. You know, I mean, I was there back in the days when the free jams at 118 and 129 and Cedar Park and the Zulu Nation anniversaries in Bronx River, you know, and it was all about peace and love, you know. So these guys they built the foundation for this industry, this billion-dollar industry right now.
P. Diddy, icon. P. Diddy's a total icon. I mean, coming from where he came, you know, at Uptown and working in the mailroom and working his ranks up and working his ranks and being a dancer in Dougie Fresh's video in Summertime. He was one of the dancers in that video. If you watch that video, he's in that video. And then coming to where he is now, to a multi-million-dollar, you know, mogul in this whole thing, and what he's done for the music and what he's done for the community as well. I mean, he's a total icon. He broke every barrier to where, well, if this was a black thing or a white thing, and took that race barrier, crumbled it up, threw it out the window, because it's a hip-hop thing. It's whoever's got talent.
Right now is like one of the best times to be in hip-hop. You know, I would definitely say, my point of view, is the best time to be in hip-hop, because now you can really get what you deserve, and you can negotiate the big deals, you know, the major deals. And at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's about a business. I mean, you know, it's a culture, but it is a business. And right now, hip-hop is just a great time to be in the game.
DJ battles, which are still going on today. You know, MC battles, which are still going on today. Graffiti battles, unfortunately, we don't have Trains to Bomb anymore in New York City, but, you know, there's still battles going on where they do, you know, where they'll get an exhibition together and, you know, do a graffiti battle or something like that. But it's still as big as it was. I mean, it's how you express your talent and who's got the best bragging rights. I think we all strive as artists and everything in this industry, when we got into this, yeah, we want to make real deal, authentic hip hop, but we also want to bring it to the masses. Today, all hip hop, there's still the underground, there's still, you know, the guys that are down there that are making the records, that are keeping it, you know, authentic enough to where it's not watered down with pretty samples and this, like, to go pop. But unfortunately, this is big business, and that's what it has turned into. And labels who have kind of single-handedly destroyed what was called artist development have now just, you know, if it's not going to come out there and sell 1 million units, you're not going to get signed, which leaves the authentic guys and the underground kids to just keep putting it out and doing independent type of stuff.
But if you want to start like fresh, start with something positive, man. That's what's gonna make you positive and commercial. You know what I'm saying? But stay in school, you know what I'm saying?
If you don't go commercial, you're not gonna see that success that you want, and you're not gonna get off the block and perform in front of, 20,000 people, you're going to perform in front of 1,000 people, which is your core audience, which is great. But if you want to get your sound out there and your message out there, sometimes you might have to come out with a little bit of a different kind of record just to get it out there and still put on your album the stuff that you want to get across.
I gotta take my skirt off. How you feel now, man? I got days, but see, I need you in the next one.
I love hip hop. I live for hip hop. For real, hip hop is number one. Right.
Everybody, I'll tell you who's a commercial pop guy. Everybody's commercial pop. Jay-Z's commercial pop. DMX is commercial pop. But their records are still a lot of hard records for the streets, but they're commercial pop successes. You know what I mean? What's pop music? Pop music is popular music. That's what it is to me. Eminem, makes great hardcore records too, but he also makes great pop records. What's wrong with that?
I'm number one, don't know, I like her. We love the suckers, cause all they're my stuff. Won't neglect, all I want to protect. All of my followers, all I want to respect. I'm not a boxer, but the man with what? Slick brother.
People's, to me, one of the best groups out there. And they got a little commercial success, but that would be my main one example of, I need to say more. Black Eyed Peas, which were a really underground group at first too, and they were really sticking true to that thing. Now they've got commercial success. Jurassic 5, great group. You know what I mean? A little bit of commercial success, but very authentic to what the real culture and what the real MC styles, the way they do their routines and stuff, and the way they do it in their group.
Why I'm still here today, rhyming and writing, because I'm one of the best who ever did it, and I love to do it.
My shit is whack, I'm erasing it, replacing it with something hotter. Because a lot of cats from not a vampire, Jay-Z, the gotta rock. And listen in, so it gotta be raw, gotta be more. If it's cold crush, it gotta be.
And then when I'm not good at it anymore, that's when I'll stop doing it.
I mean, the hip hop, I think, is going back to the party-oriented type of music, which is cool. I'm really feeling a lot of stuff. I mean, the tempos come back up. The attitude of it is a little more happy in a lot of records now that are coming out. I mean, obviously they're going to talk about how much bling we all have and all of this and stuff, but I mean, that's just the way society is now and where we are in the world. The musical sound, the sound that's everything's coming out, it's a lot more party-oriented, club-driven. It's fun. To me, it's fun to play again. There was a period of dark time when it got real dark in the early 90s, like right after the scenarios and the Tap the Bottles and the hip hoppers, then it went real dark. And it was just like tempo was real down and slow, and it wasn't fun to play anymore. It was just like everybody was so miserable. It's like, all right, we know the world sucks. Let's make some music to forget about why the world sucks for a minute.
This is just the beginning of it, because we're still doing it. We're still in the parks. We're still trying to keep this thing going. We still have Rosedale Park. We still got Bronx River Park. We still get functions in Claremont Park. We want this to keep going on. We want people to come out and enjoy our functions. See how we live. See that we live in a nice way. We live good way. We don't live peacefully. We don't want violence. Don't bring no violence to us. You don't get no violence from us.
You could see the difference between then and now and how music has changed so much.
It's showing the world that whoever said that this music and this culture was just a fad, you're eating their words now, because this is, how many years are we into this now? Almost 27, 30 years now into this. It's not a fad anymore. I mean, in every facet of what you look at in life today, you'll see some form of hip hop, or now with some commercials with graffiti in it again. The DJ, there's a DJ in every commercial, from Noxzema to car commercials. DJ, it's broken up into a couple of different things. There's the turntablists, like the Executioners, Rob Swift and Rock Raider and those cats, and Q-Berts and the Beat Junkies of the world. And then there's the mixtape DJs, the Clues, the Ooh Kids, who's also 50 Cent's DJ, Green Lantern, who's also Eminem's DJ. And then there's the DJs, the party DJs, and who are like myself, who go around and tour around the country and, not just DJ for groups, but also DJ in a lot of clubs and stuff like that. So it's broken up into a lot of different things, but it's still the piece that ties it all in together. Now a lot of DJs, like I said, are doing a lot more production. So they're doing a lot more productions for artists. Thus, these, like the Green Lantern albums, which are incredible, putting out these great records, with Jada Kiss, with the D-Blocks, and Green Lanterns doing all of these tracks with these kids. and blowing up all over radio, which is just elevating Green Lantern and making these superstar DJs.
I'm Lux Diamond. You will see me soon.
It's coming back. Everything is coming back. It's a recycle, just like the trees. Leaf fall off the tree, next year grow back.
Somebody scream! Mind control! The new world order is coming for your mind. Microchips, wallets and witches, computer chips, and you. You gotta rock and say stop it, cause it's the century. There is such a place that creates such a melody. Our work will find a plan of the master can. Get up and dance, time to chase your dream.
I'm gonna return to the game. Yes, I am. And when I return to the game, I'm coming strong. And I'm right now I'm looking at the players, and I'm not intimidated. Never was, but I'm gonna say like Magic would say.
That's right. Look in the camera.
I'm counting my money.
All right.
I'm counting my money, and I'm coming. And when I do come, it's gonna be something for everybody to see. And those who don't know me, well, all I can say to them is off one of my records. Then who the fuck do you know? Okay.
Being a part of what we call history today, from the beginning to where it's at now.
It's never gonna stop. It's here forever.
Cause all damn my stuff, won't neglect, all I want to protect, all of my followers, all I want is respect.
Yo, we gon' do this love American style, hip hop. This is what we live over here. It's what we started over here. This how we gon' do this right here. Come on, drop that shit. Hip hop America. We love you. Black America. We love you. White America. We love you. Hip hop America. We love you. Politicians lie. Whole families die. You gotta fight for your slice of this American pie. I was touched by an American. The plan was this. Cut off they bloodline so them niggas ain't got shit. But we got broccoli and sake. Mahi mahi. American gangster bitches and preachers that are cocky. We got Max and hoes. Pimps with afros. White American bitches that don't wear clothes. On the cover of Hustler. Just waiting to touch her. Some hairy pussy bitches we imported from Russia. We got thugs that love to throw slugs. Crips and Bloods. Plus them fat ass buds. We got congressional seats. Boxes and briefs. Nasty trick bitches that don't wash they sheets. We got the Statue of Liberty. Blind Lady Justice. No wonder outside of the borders they can't trust us. We got people and folk. Cooked up coke. Porno stars that love to deep throat. The Sopranos, Mr. Nice Guys. Sicilian mobsters that'll take your lives. Hip Hop America. We love you. Black America. We love you. White America. We love you. Hip Hop America. We love you. Native America. We love you. Black America. We love you. White America. We love you. Latin America. We love you.
I can see what they got, yo, but I ain't got shit. No pot to throw piss, no dreams of being rich. It's that American shit that throws my life off track. But it's the love of hip hop that keeps bringing me back. I stand right and exact in the land of the free, and I'm guilty as charged. Now who wanna see me? 18 can't drink, but they send me to war. Now I fight till I can't fight no more. But I avoided that shit. I put my heart in the street with 2 turntables and a fat ass beat. Now my life's complete. You hear my story on wax. I live and die by the scratch. I push the shit to the max. I'm a hip hop American, born to ball, and I'm writing my name in graffiti on the wall. I got the right to vote, and I elect. I know you suckers can't stand me, but give me respect.
Hip Hop America. We love you. Black America. We love you. White America. We love you. Hip Hop America. We love you.